Hello Internet! Welcome to game 1 of my top 4 game against Eloy from the Arnhem Regional. Now, I think Eloy is probably one of the best German players. He's played at Worlds for the last 3 years in Seniors and the last 2 years in Masters. And interestingly enough, Eloy was using, basically in this tournament, the same team he used 2 years ago in the 2013 Nationals. I was using the same team almost that I was using 2 years ago in the 13 Nationals, and we met in the top 8 of the Milan National in Italy 2 years ago. He beat me, he knocked me out of the top 8, which, you know, obviously didn't go down too well with me. I wasn't very happy with that, but you know, I did feel afterwards that if I played it differently, I should have won those games. So it's pretty interesting now to get this rematch of sorts. On the team preview, I felt a lot more comfortable than I did 2 years ago. He leads with Hit My Top and Thunderous. I lead with Lipid and Breloom. You know, I'm feeling pretty happy like this. He kinda is forced to lead with Thunderous because basically his team is really solid, it's pretty bulky, most of it is outsped by my Breloom, so he has to shut it down, he has to taunt it before I start spreading spores everywhere. Now, my fake out is faster than his, so basically the option here is we trade fake outs. You know, I fake out his Thunderous, he fakes out my Breloom, or I fake out his Hitmontop and he taunts my Breloom. And I don't really want to be a part of, you know, that scenario, so I take Breloom out. I can't see much mileage because it is intimidated as well, and keeping Breloom in. He does go for the fake out and the taunt, you know, expecting me to just stay in, but that means I get, there you go, the taunt on Cresselia. That means I get a nice foul play onto this Thunderous. Now, I can see, you know, looking at that damage, that it is a pretty bulky Thunderous. It uses his Citrus Berry as well, takes it back up to about 75%, and basically that turn worked out brilliantly for me. I mean, I suppose he gets to scout my leftovers there on Cresselia, but next turn his Hitmontop is threatened. Obviously I've got Cresselia right now, so it switches out, and because this is a bulky Thunderous, I can outspeed it with my Lipid and basically encore it into a pretty useless move, Taunt. So you know, the first turn of an encore, it picks a random target. It selects the Cresselia again, which is a little bit unfortunate for him, I suppose. So because it's a wasted turn for his Thunderous, and the Hitmontop, you know, comes out for the Hydreigon, maybe expecting a Psychic there. You know, because I can't start setting up now, so you know I have to attack basically. So he's probably expecting a Psychic, but I go for an Icy Wind. I think I must have expected the Hitmontop to switch out, but also I do get a little bit of damage onto this Thunderous as well. So next turn, you know, is the speed drops and everything, which are obviously very useful as well. Next turn, yeah, looking back, I made quite a strange move, thinking about it, because I could have, I suppose, brought Terrakion in here for my Lipid, but instead he brings his Hitmontop in, and I actually go for, there we go, let's build a suspense, everyone's favourite move, I go for the Swagger onto his Hydreigon, which is a little bit of an odd move, I suppose, you know, so early in the game as well, because normally, you know, if someone feels like they have to justify using it, it's normally, you know, at the end game to try and squeak out wins that, you know, they wouldn't normally have. But I use it here, maybe as a little bit of a gamble, because I think that if this Hydreigon does hit itself this one time, I can get, you know, 2 Icy Winds off, basically, and knock it out with a foul play, and then my Cresselia just runs through his team. It kind of walls his team, really. He can't really do anything to my Cresselia when this Hydreigon goes down. So I just wanted to aggressively target this Hydreigon down. I wanted it gone, and then I would have felt a lot more comfortable with the game. So I go for the Swagger. Cresselia is faster because of that, the drop last turn. I get a bit more damage off with Hydreigon, with the Icy Wind off here, and there we go, more speed drops, and it does actually, there we go, rubber duckies, it does hit itself. So, you know, I suppose making that play as well, I was comfortable for Lipid to go down that turn, and I know that Cresselia could take a Dark Pulse as well. It would have taken it down really low, but I know that, it, you know, worst case, it could have taken one, and, you know, as time went on, I would have been gaining HP back as well from the leftovers. I know as well that basically, as we can see with Lipid here, because it's at +2, this foul play takes this Hydreigon out, which is wonderful. You know, oops, sorry about that if you heard me bash my microphone. But because my taunt worked off last turn, Hydreigon goes down and I can start setting up with Calm Mind. Now, this is important because 2 years ago, well, let's just talk you through this close combat first. There we go. Lipid goes down. You know, I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. Lipid's done its job in this game. Now, what's important about getting this +1 out is this Calm Mind off, is because, well, there's a few reasons really. Because his Hitmontop has got a very interesting item. His Hitmontop is actually holding a Custap Berry, which, you know, for if you don't know what a Custap Berry does, which, you know, I suppose not many people will know. Basically, if you go down to a pinch, you know, under 25%, your next move has +1 priority, and this Hitmontop has got Endeavour on it as well, which, you know, it's a fantastic set. I really like it. It did catch me off guard 2 years ago in Milan, and, you know, it's kind of part of my downfall. But basically, I'm thinking this Hitmontop can take a neutral Psychic. If I get to +1, then it's a one-shot on the Hitmontop, and I don't have to worry about any kind of Custap Berry or any shenanigans like that. But I also know that at +1, I'm not going to be taking much damage from any potential Heat Waves, as he switches his Hitmontop out to Heatran. But I also know that it basically means I can do a lot of damage to his Heatran with my Cresselia. 2 years ago, I had Hidden Power Fire on Cresselia. This time, you know, for now, maybe I'll change it. For now, I've got Hidden Power Ground on my Cresselia, which basically, you know, because I got rid of that Hydreigon, means that my Cresselia is very, 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 very happy just sitting there, especially at +1. You know, and I think it can kind of run through the team. Now, the next few turns probably looks like is, you know, outplaying me and whatever, but I can just make the comfortable moves now. I don't think there's any need for me to make any predictions, you know, after this turn. I mean, he predicted nicely on this turn. You know, I was trying to take advantage of the situation, get a substitute up. He saw through that, went for a Thunderbolt, and basically the Psychic onto what was the Hitmontop, but now the Heatran, you know, it soaks it up, it takes it up. But, you know, basically, again, I'm in a position where I think, well, I am set. This Cresselia, nothing can touch me. I don't have to make any predictions. I can just play the game through, you know, sensibly, making basically the really basic moves, and, you know, just because I have got this Cresselia that is so good against his team with his Hidden Power, I'm happy to, you know, have it sitting in here and making the obvious moves. So in comes the Hitmontop. Terracion's at -1. I go for the Rock Slide to, you know, hit what was the Thunderous, and this is a turn that I do actually show the Hidden Power. So I'm presuming that he guesses this is like Hidden Power Ground. But again, you know, I'm not in any position to, you know, make any kind of bold predictions or anything. I'm playing it very, very safely. He goes for the Fake Out on Cresselia. I go for a substitute with Terrakion as well, just to sort of, you know, burn through any, you know, I didn't think he would double target, and if he did, then I'd basically knock the Hitmontop out with a Psychic. But, yeah, that's, you know, a burnt turn. I don't mind losing a 25% with Terrakion there. Terrakion is at -1 now, so because this Heatran is bulky, I'm not expecting close combat to actually knock it out, but here's all the leftovers. But as we can see with the next turn, yep, there we go, Heatran switches out, you know, fearing a close combat, but I think it would have survived anyway. You know, either way, I think I've got the game won. You know, again, I'm not making any sort of predictions. I don't have to, which is, you know, an important thing about Pokemon. Just play with your, you know, with the odds, basically. Going for a close combat. I knew the Cresselia would outspeed Hitmontop, knock it out with a +1 Psychic, and, you know, again, off it goes down. Basically, it's, what, 3-on-2 now, and, you know, as I've said many times, this Cresselia is just sitting in front of his team, unbothered. He goes for, you know, Thunder Wave, trying to clutch at straws, I suppose. He paralyzes the Cresselia, but I can Rock Slide here, basically to take out the Thunderous. Yeah, there it goes. I did, with Cresselia, use Psychic here onto... There we go, here's the Psychic. I did use Psychic on the Thunderous as well, just in case the Rock Slide missed. So, you know, I'm thinking of the worst case scenario, basically. Because I know that I've got Brillium in the back to take care of Heatran as well to Mach Punch it, just if the, as long as the Thunderous has gone down, then I'm perfectly safe. But, there's not too much worth saying for the rest of this game now, because basically I can clean up. And, well, I suppose, I do make a few sort of interesting moves here, because obviously I've won the game. If I was him, I would probably forfeit now, because basically I am just gaining more information. I mean, I guess I already knew, but I wanted to Spore here just in case he was using a Timid Heatran. So I know now 100% my Breloom does outspeed this Heatran, and I go for a Psychic with Cresselia. I'm sure he knows that it is Hidden Power Ground on Cresselia, but I'm not going to show him. I'm not going to give him the 100% knowledge that it is Hidden Power Ground. So, just to sort of confuse him as well, maybe. I'm going for the Psychics, but the Mach Punch takes it out next turn, and that's a pretty comfortable win, actually. So, that's game 1 of the top 4 game. Thanks for watching, guys. Game 2 rather of this top 4 game will be going on tomorrow, hopefully. So, tune in for that. But thanks for watching, guys, and bye for now.